Hey guys, it's the Highlander. Hope you're having a good summer vacation. We are off this week, but we do have an episode for you. A special guest came in, good friend of ours, great guy, Jason Charles Miller. If you don't know, he was the frontman and lead singer for the band Godhead, which is a heavy rock band. But he is now a solo singer-songwriter, and he does this great Americana, Southern rock music, and he's got a brand new album coming out. So he came on the podcast this week, and we did a show with him. So enjoy. This is this week's episode with Jason Charles Miller.
Everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. Hello, how you doing? With me, as always, the lovely Bombshell Rye.
What's up, people? Rye?
Rye? It's a Bombshell Rye.
Oi!
Hey, oi! And the beautiful Highlander.
There, Bailey one.
Also with us today is a guy that I've known for a long time. He's my landlord for a long time, but he's also a very amazingly talented musician, legendary actually, Jason Charles Miller.
Yay!
Hey! In lieu of a rent increase, I said the week my record comes out, let me on the show.
Listen, you got a choice.
Right.
He came in like a mob guy. Hey, let me tell you something. Listen, you don't want something to happen at a place you're renting, right? It's going to cost you a little more. So
if you guys were wondering who curates this wonderful place where the murders have happened and the kidnappings and the spray painting,
all the stuff we do, we talk about this all the time. We've talked about
neighborhood.
Oh, they all know about Clumsy. God rest his soul.
R.I.P.
Across your gate.
I'm pouring out something. It's so funny that I've never seen them turn an electrical box into a tombstone. That's what they did for many
Today, tomorrow, beautiful mural.
yeah. Then they paint over it, and then they paint a new mural of Clumsy. So today we came in, and there was a police chopper flying over the building, and the good news is, between the gunshots and helicopters, I'm really glad this place is soundproofed.
Yeah, it's really well done.
It's well done, because we don't know a murder's out till we walk out and there's a guy on the street
and there's a tent with a body on the ground
and a coroner checking him out.
This is a surprise roast, right? That's what's happening right now.
All right, everybody, come
You didn't know
the studio
when you
building?
bought the building. You didn't know this was going to be like, because
it wasn't when we first came here,
and it's gone through. And it'll get
murder
better
cycles
again. No, it's gone through, good and bad.
But you're a business genius, because there's 5 or 6 studios, and everybody's some major hit songs have popped out of this building.
Yeah.
Can you say what? Who's done what? Didn't Billy Ray Cyrus do?
Yeah, I mean, we recorded a Billy Ray Cyrus album here. The guys downstairs, they wrote that huge song for Maren Morris called "The Middle."
The Middle, The Middle. They did that here,
Yeah. I mean, gosh, there's been a lot of hits out of here.
Yeah.
In this room, a very successful La Montagne album was recorded.
Right.
Wow. Here?
Chris Robinson from the Black Crowes, his solo album was recorded in this room.
Wow.
Yeah. The one of the big.
So we've actually been a big disappointment to you.
Totally. It wasn't part of the Grinch.
Right before I owned it, apparently part of the Grinch with
this was his lair.
Jim Carrey was filmed in here.
And the funny thing is, because there's all these little glue triangles on the floor. If you walked around in the black, you see these little glue bumps. Well, you remember if all the stalagmite and stalactites in that movie were glued to the floor and to the top. So if you look around the floor, there's that's some valid that the Grinch Who Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey. His lair was here. They turned this whole thing into the cave.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they cleaned it out because that was had to be a mess.
Well, speaking of lair, it's only the corner. Because if I leave and go anywhere, you go down the street, it's pretty nice.
Right.
There's nothing wrong.
You go that way, it's nothing but families and nice areas.
20
like
feet that way.
Corner.
Burned out crack house. Violence, constant violence. Yes, so there was another
rehab, transitional living.
Next door, right? Is it right?
Yeah. We saw those good buildings going up, and we were so excited.
Because they were nice apartments. We're like, thank God.
I recognize it.
And then all of a sudden, why are all these people coming in wearing flip-flops and pajama pants?
And smoking a lot.
and matching, Boston Celtics tracksuits. A lot of style.
It's a nice neighborhood.
So let's go. We'll deal with the Armageddon update first. And as always, we talk politics on this special, and then we're going to talk about your album, which I've been listening to. Elon Musk had a interview with Donald Trump, which is just, it's like how much tiny penis can you fit into one room, man? It's like these guys, and Elon Musk it just goes to show you, to me, and this is what I think, is that no matter how much money you have, you cannot buy cool. You cannot buy cool. Yeah. You cannot buy likability. You cannot buy
abs.
No, you can buy abs.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
But you got to put them in,
and then you got to work.
Right.
Yeah, every time I see a picture of the dude like swimming off a yacht or something, I'm like, dude, if I had a five, maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I would just be Jabba the Musk right there because. Babe, have you seen him?
I know. I'm saying no, you wouldn't, because then you would have enough money to not have to be on the road every week and to pay a trainer to wake you up, get you out of bed every morning, a chef would hand you a healthy breakfast.
Perfect amount of calories.
That's how you can buy abs.
But exactly. But why does this guy who conned us all, if you look, so either Ray said this, there's two cons going on with Elon Musk. Either he conned us at the beginning saying he needed to save the planet. Mm-hmm. And that's why we're doing electric cars, because we're going to destroy the planet. And so we all got on board. Then he said, we're going to do a solar company because we're going to destroy the planet. We got to go to Mars because we need to be a multi-planet species. And there was this liberal vibe to this dude that was like, I'm for everybody. And then he hit about, and he almost went down. People don't even know this, but right before Tesla took off, he was literally a day from going bankrupt. And NASA came in December of that year with a contract for $2 billion to build the SpaceX rockets.
And that's when it changes. A decimal point.
Yeah.
Something switches in people's.
So he got that money. Then he started the Gigafactory. Then the Fremont. I grew up in Fremont, California, and he brought all these jobs back to Fremont. And you know how psycho I was about Musk. I was like, he's the best guy ever. This guy's a motherfucker. I sold my Tesla S because he's such a dick now. I was like, I can't live with this. That car was great for 7 years, and I'm like, I can't. I have this weird thing about integrity that I can't give this fucking guy money anymore. If I'd have known in the 30s that Henry Ford was a Nazi, did you know Hitler had a picture of Henry Ford in his office?
No, I didn't.
So Henry Ford did a thing called the Protocols of Zion, and he had it written, and it was he owned the Detroit Dispatch or something, some shitty paper that didn't make any money. But over 92 weeks, he did this anti-Semitic thing called the Protocols of Zion and put it out, and he would give it to dealerships. And so when you bought a Ford, they threw a copy of it on the front seat. So Henry Ford,
because when you used to buy cars back then, you got you got stacks of stuff.
Yeah.
You got like an instructional booklet about your car.
Yeah, you could, because you had to fix it. You
slip that in.
Everybody knew how to take the car apart down to the frame.
I mean, Ford was still shit. Like Hitler still didn't drive a Ford.
VWs. I knew about the VW. There's a VW. You can Google. There's a VW symbol with the swastika in it.
Really?
Well, he just turned it to the side. And then swastika.
So the Elon Musk
symbol of love.
It was real.
It's a Tibetan symbol of love and a Nazi symbol of genocide, but it's also a Tibetan symbol of love. So what happened was that Hitler, when they asked Hitler, there's an interview in Life magazine years ago, and I'm reading this in prequel, the book that Rachel Maddow wrote. I'm reading it. Is they went and interviewed Hitler? This because there was a point when America was pro-Hitler. There was a big chunk of America that was like, we need to stay out of Germany. We need to let it go. He's gonna help Germany, Europe get together.
Early MAGA.
It was way early MAGA.
It's the same.
That's what I'm learning about. We are doing the same shit over, and we don't learn. Fifth generation problem. Fifth generation forgets. The dad goes to war, gets PTSD, comes back. We're never going to war again. Then he sits out in the path and he stares into the fence, drinking and smoking. And then his kid goes, "Hey, I'm going to get a job," and he becomes an accountant in the 50s. And then their kid, Grandpa, don't go to war. It's crazy. You're going to get that kid goes to Harvard, starts protesting the war. Then those people get shut down. Then we get those people raise their kid, helicopter children. Everybody gets the trophy. And then that fucking kid has no idea how the world works. And goes, "We need a dictator." Fifth generation problem.
It's also maybe the coffers of Pentagon start getting low, and they're like, you know what? We need to drum up the military-industrial complex.
No, it's not the Pentagon. It's Lockheed and Raytheon get low. They're like, my ski boat is 8 years old. We need new ski boats. We need to. Someone go drop a bomb.
This interview that he did has not had the greatest reviews ever. First of all, it took him 40 minutes to start.
This is Trump and Musk, right?
Yes,
not Hitler. We don't have the Hitler interview.
I don't have the Hitler tapes, but I do have. So it took 40 minutes. They started late because of technical issues. I guess Donald Trump slurred throughout the entire thing. Yeah.
So this Elon Musk is the highest tech guy in the world, right? The literally highest tech guy in the world.
Yep.
Sets him an interview with an ex-president, promotes the shit out of it, and then for 40 minutes they can't figure out what's wrong with the mic.
Wait, did Trump criticize him for having technical issues?
Like he did with Ron DeSantis when he did it before,
or the black journalist,
or the Black Journalist Association.
No,
so it's become problematic because they may have violated federal campaign regulations. Citizens United in Citizens United has already filed with the FEC because they said that the conversation amounted to a virtual campaign event, which was financed by a social media platform. Per the FEC, a contribution is anything of value given, loaned, or advanced to influence a federal election. They're also claiming that it did not fall under the press exemptions that are set forth by the Election Commission on the basis that X is not a traditional news outlet. On top of that, the UAW has now filed federal labor charges against Trump and Musk for threatening in that interview to intimidate workers who go on strike. So there's a lot of fallout already, aside from the fact he sounded like an idiot.
How are you such a criminal that you accidentally commit crimes every day? Like, you're such a criminal that they're like, you committed like 4 crimes in 40 minutes, like in an interview.
He literally said, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say you want to quit. They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but if they go on strike, I'll say, that's okay. You're all gone. You're all gone. Every one of you is fired. Which is...
Jason wants to talk about his album, but what do you think about all this shit?
Jason's like, I just wrote an album.
Well, okay, I've got some interesting insight that I'm going to share.
All right.
And now insight on politics from a rocker.
So check this out. So last week, I performed 3 concerts in China.
Right.
In Guangzou, China.
Really?
And
are you shitting me?
I'm not shitting you. Yeah, I was
what
in China
was that
last
flight
week.
like?
Were you trying to reach me?
Yeah, fucking air conditioning.
Yeah. Fix the AC. Like, dude, I'm in China. Like, shut up. No, I'm really in China.
Shut up, dude.
Right. Yeah, because I sing on a lot of video game soundtracks, specifically Final Fantasy 14, and we do these giant video game soundtrack concerts all over the world. Wow. I'm going to Japan next month. I'm going to South Korea after that. But this one we were in China. And from my interpreter to all of like the younger kids that I met that were like in their 20s, everybody over there loves Trump.
What?
Here's why. They don't know anything about his politics. They just think he's hilarious.
Oh,
there you go. I get that.
They don't know that he bags on China every day. They don't know that he makes racist statements every day.
He's a clown.
Right.
He's just a clown to them, and they think he's hilarious.
I thought you were going to say because of how strong their propaganda is, that they shaped him as like, oh, look, a fellow dictator.
I mean, maybe, but...
So they get to make fun of... So I'm sure whatever Chinese late night comedians...
yeah, I didn't see any.
Hey, man, it's good to be here. Dude. We've got so here's the jokes that were approved.
Yeah,
I'm so glad because we were all waiting for you to do a Chinese accent, and I was very tense.
I was waiting.
And you thought about it, and then you didn't do it.
Yeah, look at the time code.
Exactly.
So I bet. So there's constant jokes about Trump. So he's funny to them. They don't understand that he will drop a nuke on them if he gets close to the button. That's crazy.
Yeah.
By the way, those good gigs, those got to be big money gigs if they're flying you to China.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I've never been. I had only been to China 20 years ago as a tourist. So this was the first time I'd been in a really long time.
And you get to play all the music from the video games.
Yeah.
Do you do any of your other music?
No. I mean, because I'm there for a very specific purpose.
Right.
Are there other artists that come and they play different video game soundtracks, or is it just...
This is all for Final Fantasy 14 specifically.
Very
That's
cool.
how big that game is. They have 51 million monthly subscribers
Wow.
worldwide.
Oh, so that's a great check.
Yeah. I mean,
when you get that phone call, you got to go, well, what's your budget? Like
Yeah.
You'd always know when it's a good gig when you call up and you can go, what's your budget? And they go, well, our budget's this much. You go, it's more money than you've ever heard of. You're like,
they're very generous to me. So
good. And that's why my rent has stayed stable.
But another thing,
no buts on that.
I was continuing back to where we were though. Is I read an article this morning about how back to Musk. Musk is actually being used indirectly to scam people because AI, people are making these really complex AI videos that are tricking seniors. They're tricking seniors into investing because they see Elon Musk talking about this great investment opportunity.
You don't need AI to trick seniors, though. I mean, you just
don't. You just.
But when you have it, it's
usually Tom Selleck.
They used to do it with mail.
Right.
I better send a check in. Mother, get the checkbook. I need to send a check in. Why? Supposedly, we own marshland and we haven't paid the taxes.
We won Publishers Clearinghouse.
Jason actually is going to be a lot of places coming up. So we should go ahead and talk to you about any issues we have before you hit the road.
Okay.
There's bugs, first of all. They're flying around us every time we have a podcast. Jason, you can go can go check out jasoncharlesmiller.com. I just want to throw this out there now because you have to go see his logo because it's worth going and checking out on his website. Super cool. Very good photography as well.
He looks like he's the consummate badass over the top rocker. And I know him, so I don't want to blow his cover, but he's such a nice dude.
There's a Beyonce shot where his beard blows on the main page.
That was another thing. The makeup artist for the concert was like, "You're the first person I've ever done makeup on with a beard."
Really?
Because think about it, because no one in China has beards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're going to be in Buffalo August 23rd. We're there August 25th. How weird. We're passing each other. So guys, I'm just going to say now, go check out his website because he will be near you. There are so many dates on here.
And I'm listening to the album. So the new album's coming out. Let's talk about the new album, what you do and create. Because I'm always interested in, because I'm doing my new comedy special, and I know the creative process is a creative process. Highlander's done a bunch of albums, and I'm listening to your album, and I gotta tell you, man, like listen, you're a friend and you're my landlord, and I know that if I'm and I have to, so I'm like I start and I'm like, all right, I gotta like this, and then I did, what. And I really did, and it's called Knives in the Dark, and I gotta tell you, man, like song after song after song after song, and then the genre, like I can tell, I'm a big music fan, I can tell where your influences are. But it never sounds old. It always you and fuck so many people. Okay, so I started playing guitar like 4 years ago, and don't say anything. I'm not good at it. But the people that are good at it, Nils Lofgren's a friend. He plays really well. Good guitarists don't just play the notes. Good guitarists don't just play the song. Good guitarists make you feel something while they play. You are a motherfucker on a guitar. Like there was a solo you did. That song I want.
Well, the solo might not be me.
Oh, then that guy's great.
Yeah.
That guy's amazing.
The solo might be my lead guitarist in my band.
That guy's good.
Can we get him
but your vocals are amazing.
I'm playing.
You could have lied, and you didn't lie.
I love giving credit where credit's due, though. I don't want to take credit for somebody else's solo.
Good, thank God.
I do play guitar on every song on the album.
It's great. The album, people. It is great. Every song, like that's the thing that I think we've lost. I remember growing up in the 80s, and I remember I went through this period in the 80s and 90s where when people dropped an album out of 13 songs or 12 songs, 10 you could just play in a row, sometimes 12. We don't have that now. Everybody's putting out an EP. Everybody's putting out, it's online, it's singles, sure. And you never get. You never get when you get a good album when I was growing up, you just left it on. It just played because it was every fucking song, and every fucking song is good on this album.
Thanks, man.
People might also recognize you from Godhead, which sold a shitload of albums and toured with that. But now, what's the band's name now?
Yeah, so it's just Jason Charles Miller, and then I have a band that backs me up. So
I like it.
If you go see.
There's a point when you get so talented, you're like, it's just name it after me. Why? Because I've been doing it that long, and I don't want to come up with a new name.
Did you give the band a name?
Then they got to fight. Yeah, lead guitarist.
He didn't even give him an E Street Band kind of name.
It's not even Jason Charles. Sometimes it's the Backwoods Mud Stompers.
Okay, all right. I like it. I like that.
The Backwoods Mud Stompers
has worked with a lot of people that I love. Works with Robert Smith of The Cure. Would love to know, how does that eyeliner look up close?
Yeah, well, I worked with him so much that I recorded on a different day that he did. So,
oh, wow.
But the eyeliner does look good up close. So my friend Reeves Gabrels is in the band The Cure, and on one of his solo records, I sang on a track with Robert Smith, but not on the same day.
Oh, man, we just saw them at the bowl from third row.
It was interesting to watch him because he came out. I've never seen anyone enter the stage like this. It was the weirdest shit I've
What
ever
did he
seen.
do?
He was present with the audience in silence for about 2 minutes.
No more than that. He walked out, just doesn't say a word. Slowly. I mean, not
What's up, bitches?
Whimsically.
He just walked out and he drifted it. Let's say he drifted out.
Yes.
He
Bidened out.
Was the band already playing, or they weren't?
Yeah, they were playing. Yeah, they were
quietly.
Yeah, quietly. But he just wandered out. And he looks over at this section. And then he just looks at this section.
And then walks over to another
then he walks
part.
to another section, looks over here.
Okay.
And we're all like...
He doesn't point. He's not doing this. He's not going...
He's not like, hey, there's my accountant.
Good
You got those tickets. You got those tickets.
And then he walks over to this side, and then he leans on a thing, and he looks out. And it went on forever. And I turned around, and I'm like, fuck is happening right now?
Wow. I've never seen him do that before. But I mean, he's pretty notorious for just after every song, he just goes, thank you. And but you don't hear the thanks, you just hear, yo.
Oh, he was saying thank you.
He's saying fuck you?
Yeah.
Sure he's saying.
I'm like, I think he said thank you.
Now, do you have when you create an album, a new album, how many albums is this for you? Okay, but you did
This
how
is
many?
like my 6th solo album. And Godhead had 7 albums.
Okay, so
plus there's many other albums I've contributed to for other artists.
Oh.
So when because I have this weird thing, having your own. I started comedy when I was 19. I was on my own, making my own money when I was 22 or 23. I've never had another job after that, except for my job that I had to create every day. So when you have that, do you create out of I need to do the next thing, or do you have to be sitting? Because some people just sit there and they have to be inspired. When someone would say, I was taught blue collar. You do your fucking job, come up with something.
Yeah.
Do you have that going on, or do you have to be hit with it?
Well, it's both, right? So sometimes you're like, I'm gonna sit down and I gotta write the new album,
right.
You know. And when you're forcing it, sometimes you don't get your best work. But if you consistently do it as much as you can, the great moments will come.
Leno said that. Leno said that about stand-up. He said, he goes, you got to write every day. You got to write all day. It's like going to the gym. If you don't go to the gym, you can't lift weights. If you go to the gym every day, it becomes easier and easier and easier. And it used to take me 35 minutes to get started, to get to something good. Like a joke. It took me 35 minutes of focusing my brain. Now I can just sit down and start writing. Now. Because I do it a lot.
A lot of that has to do with how healthy you are. This episode brought to you by Fitbod.
Very nice.
Hey!
She's brilliant. She's brilliant at this.
Show us your guns. Give it to us. No, show the big one.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's the big one.
I don't know what's going on. I'm lifting 40s and 20s on that. I don't know what's going on. There's something wrong.
He showed me today in the mirror, and we both looked, and I was like, wow. And then he goes, why is one of them bigger?
What's wrong with that one?
And then I went, yeah, it's a lot bigger.
I've got a palsy arm, and I don't know why. It lifts the same. So let me tell you about Fitbod. So I did something recently.
What is it?
Fitbod is an app, a workout app. So I used to go to a trainer. I used to go to the gym all the time. And now I have this app and it'll remind me, it'll give me a notification. You haven't worked out in a day. It does stuff all the time. I put in the stuff I want to do. Let's say I want to do back and buys. I put that in and and abs, and it goes and it gives me 10 exercises. I have different profiles I can use. I have one called lean and clean. That's just weights. I have one that's called lean, clean cardio. And when I do that, it adds cardio at the end. Yesterday, and I hadn't done this. I didn't know. So here's something new. I've been working on Fitbod for almost 2 years. In November will be 2 years.
Yeah.
I put on my Apple Watch. I look at my Apple Watch. And there's a Fitbod. It's already on my Apple Watch.
Wow.
And I hit it yesterday, and I'm working out because I'd never used it before. And it literally kept up with everything I was doing on my Apple Watch. When I finished my set, I didn't have to touch it. It said I did that many.
It knew you stopped.
It knew I had stopped because it was moving, because whatever the gyroscope is.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
and
going
so
like this, it knows you're doing a rep.
Yeah, and then when I stopped, it was like beep. And I was like, what?
That's why that arm's bigger.
Yeah, that's the watch. The watch.
Yeah,
that's why.
current.
Oh.
So Fitbot is the most amazing thing. You can ask Ray. I have never been in better shape in my entire life.
He does bitch about it though because it is the algorithm understands and builds on what you did before. So if you successfully completed what it told you to do yesterday, the next time you do that body part,
and it thinks I'm not lying to it. Yes,
it's harder.
that too. It gets harder and it raises the weight. So the other day you were doing.
So I come in, I go in, and so now I'm getting to the point where I'm mad at it. Like I'm having a weird relationship with it. I still use it because we've been together for a year and a half now, me and Fitbot. And I go in and it just said, I was doing curls and it said 45s, and I was like, F you, Fitbot.
It's pushing you. Yeah,
because this arm started to hurt, and I'm like, if I'm doing it and it's hurting, I'm like, Fitbot, I'm gonna. But here's what you can do.
That's your palsy arm, though.
Yes,
that's why it started to hurt.
Yeah. We've now called it that, which is great. So I go into Fitbot. Here's what you guys can do. You go to your thing. You can just tap it, and then you just put the weight. So I dropped the weight down to 35s, and it was great. I still got a great workout, and I didn't hurt myself.
And now it knows. Okay,
and
this
now it's
is
like, all right,
where
last time we went too far with him, and Fitbot's like, Fitbot's never a dick about it. It's like, okay, all right. If you're at 35, I was pushing you. I was trying to be a good trainer, but I don't want to hurt you.
Fine-tuned by fitness trainers, personal trainers that are certified, so you know that you're getting the right science. Add Fitbot to your workout essentials. Join today to get your personalized workout plan. Get 25% off of your subscription, or you can just try the app for free at fitbod.me/Titus. That's fitbod.me/Titus.
What does it cost for a year?
I'll double check, but last time I checked, it was $79.99 for the year. You get 25% off of that, so it's insane.
I used to pay for a per session trainer. I'd pay $80,
and you can use it whenever you want.
Year.
Yeah,
and I have 4 or 5 different profiles. I have weights and stuff at the studio and a climbing rope. I have a studio profile, and you can put all these profiles in for wherever you go. If you're on vacation, then the body weight workout. Oh my God, man! Ask her. Like we're on the road sometimes in a hotel, and I got to work out.
Yeah.
If you've done any, they're brutal. It's worse than
I think it has to do with expectation a lot. Like you think this is going to be easier because I don't have weight, and then it kills you.
I'm big boned, so it's my center of gravity's off.
Yeah. Is that what your mom told
reasons.
you?
Yeah, burpees were invented by Satan.
You're just big boned, Ken.
So all right, so you sit down and write an album. It's funny because music and comedy is the same thing. You have to. There's so much music out there. You have to figure out how to not be derivative.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, so even if you write something, you're like, oh wait, this sounds too much like that.
There's so much. I've been in both worlds, and there's so much overlap in terms of like the creative process and all the things you're saying and like production styles.
Well, now with Instagram, you can go watch videos where some asshole will take 10 songs and show you how they're all the exact same chords.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like all songs.
You gotta love those guys.
He's
fucking
like, asshole. Somebody caught on.
Yeah.
What did you love better? Did you love solo or better? Or did you love Godhead?
I think I love solo better because you get to explore your creative vision as you saw it. Right. Now that can crash and burn too. It can fly.
But at least that's you though.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. At a certain point, when you're in a band, you could take any piece of information and it could be an absolute fact. Load in is at 3 p.m. When you're in a band, you have to tell every band member in a special way how loading is at 3 p.m. For one guy,
that happens in comedy too.
Yeah. For one guy, you got to tell him load in's at 2 p.m.
Right.
For another guy, you got to tell him, hey man, I think we're getting free food at 3 o'clock. Can you come then? Or we're getting drink tickets, but we have to be there by 3. Stuff like that. Like any piece of information, you've got to feed it to the band when you're equal members.
You were a camp counselor at one point.
Oh, pretty much. Yeah. No, I love them all, but
how many in this band?
In this current, and I'm talking about like Godhead.
How many was in Godhead?
We had 4 for the most part, and then sometimes we had 5, and then sometimes we had 4. But
depending on who showed up at 3 o'clock.
You're right. Yeah. But no, and everybody's great. It's just that you get to know everyone's ticks and everyone's like how they're going to react to a certain thing.
What about the writing process?
the writing process, when you're in a band, it's very much we're in a band. It's the four of us. We're only going to write with each other.
That works. That's so easy.
When you're a solo artist, you're free to write with whoever you want.
That's awesome.
All by yourself or with, hit writers or
also write by yourself, and then you go, hey, can I bring you in and look at this?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're in a band, no, man, that break is mine. I got to do. Fuck.
So you're touring. Some of these shows are with Steel Panther,
right? So my solo band is about to open for Steel Panther for a month, which obviously has elements of comedy in there and their show. And what they told me was that, look, we don't like to bring bands that are like us on the road, because I get that. Who would want a worse version of Steel Panther than open for Steel Panther?
Or a better version.
Yeah. So they invited me because they like the album as well, and they like what I'm doing, and they know that it could fit. It's a great night of music for when it's going to go.
That's what I love of your album. If you're into rock and roll, man, it's just so good. Your lyrics aren't derivative. I'm a big fan of music. I'm a huge Prince fan. I'm a huge I like all the rock bands, from the 80s and 90s. I'm a fan of, but I was never really hard into heavy metal. And yours really, it walks that line. It goes back and forth.
Yeah, I agree.
It really goes back and forth. At one point I was like, I could hear this on the radio.
Yeah, they're instantly catchy. All the way through.
Yeah, it's a good album, man.
Yeah.
Knives in the Dark. You guys should check it out. Go get it. When's it coming out?
I think it comes out the day this airs.
I think.
So it comes out Friday.
I was like, when it comes out, you don't know when this airs.
Today.
Friday, yeah.
August 16th.
You will not be disappointed.
If you're going to be on tour, highly recommend taking AG1. This episode brought to you by AG1.
If you want to look like a panther, even a steel one.
AG1, you guys know, one of my all-time favorite products. Can't really go without it because I definitely notice the difference when I don't have it. It is a powder. You put it in water, shake it up, drink it. I like to put it in smoothies. It's over 75 vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced ingredients, adaptogens, your favorite thing.
When you say it's like a powder, you say it could be anything. It is a green powder with all these vitamins and minerals. And I'll say it again. I've said it before. The guy that invented it didn't invent it to come up with a product. He invented it because he had the worst gut pain, and he was like, I need to fix this. How do I get this to stop? And he worked and he worked and he worked, and all of a sudden he developed this thing. And then they found out it was like this incredibly healthy drink. And here's the other side of it. Again, none of us want to drink the green drinks because green drinks always taste like lawn clippings. There's always something, or this doesn't taste like lawn clippings. To this day, when I make it with water and I drink it, I'm still stunned at how it tastes.
It's also great for immune support. So I was kidding, but not kidding about being on tour and using this. We have a buddy that has been using it. He's a comedian for 3 years now, I think, and he swears by it for immune support.
Some.
I mean, it's crazy.
You got some for me?
Yeah, it's great. Do we?
Not here.
They need to send us. They need to send us another box.
You got to meet me in the alley.
All right, yeah.
It might be contraband in China.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
They just did a research study as to what you were talking about, and the study found that AG1 actually doubled the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut, specifically two of the most prominent species that support gut and whole body health, because you get also prebiotics,
Change
probiotics.
your gut health too.
Yes. And also you don't need a vitamin cabinet anymore. This is it. Take this and go on about your day. If there's one product that we trust to support our whole body health, it's AG1. That's why we've used it for 2 years now. It's easy and satisfying to start your journey with AG1. Try it. You'll get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/Titus. That's drinkag1.com/Titus. Go check that out. Rolled right into that one too.
Very nice.
You got a few more to go. Let's see how I do.
Always stunned by show.
When you brought up lawn clippings, it made me think of something.
Uh-oh.
And that is something tasting like lawn clippings. A couple months ago in LA, there were certain neighborhoods, and mine was one of them, where the water coming out of the tap started tasting like dirt and lawn clippings. And I was like, what's going on?
I broke.
Even when you took a shower, you were smelling grass.
What was going on?
Gross. There was a super bloom at the water treatment plant at LADWP.
Do you know
algae? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of algae.
No.
Yeah. So for about a month.
Even in shower, I guess
Even
the water
shower,
would get.
You're smelling
What is it?
grass. It was disgusting.
Except
smell
it
like
wasn't.
the inside
it
of a
was
lawnmower's
algae.
butthole. This is so that speaking of that, we are very close. It feels like very close to chaos. I was in that lithium thing on the way to Vegas. I had a show in Vegas, 2 shows in Vegas. We missed Friday show because of it. Guy on a straight road flipped a truck full of lithium batteries, caught on fire. They had to stop. They closed the freeway. I was in it.
Oh, wow.
I was in it.
Did you take the clip?
No, because it would have had audio.
On Saturday night, we drove past it coming home because the other side was open and it was still smoking. Wow, so in lithium, so 3 parts or 30 parts per million is bad for you. It was putting out 600. The air was 600 parts per million.
Oh my God.
And so they were like, so they stopped the whole road. People at one point were sitting in traffic line. They jumped the median and started going the wrong way up the freeway.
Side that was open.
The side that was open. Well, it wasn't open though. Yet.
Oh, it wasn't.
They hadn't blocked it yet, but they figured, there's no one coming. I'll go that way. So people started doing that, getting arrested. Then we turned around and went legally. Then we went down to 40, and it was packed as far as you could see either way with diesel trucks. And I mean, dead stopped, no gas stations, nowhere to pull off. And I remember thinking, and people started going down the median. Well, then truck drivers started pulling over and blocking them. Truck drivers weren't letting them in. And I realized it was a couple hours. It was like, we are literally less than a day from total fucking chaos if things go crazy.
Yeah, but that's where, all that nuclear testing was anyway. I mean, we're still better off now. Dust is all full of radiation.
Yeah. Do you know what
What's
I mean?
a lithium battery?
Like to watch people lose their shit in just a couple of hours and start doing the
yeah.
craziest shit we've ever seen.
And there's nowhere to go out there.
But I'm talking about so I was watching Dennis Quaid for all, I don't know why Dennis Quaid was talking about this. He was on a podcast and he was talking about there's a solar storm. It's called a something storm. He goes, we've had it before, but we had it before technology was where it is now. And what it did, it set sparks and it set power lines at the time when they had what do they call it? Morse code to tap the
SOS. Morse code.
Telegraph. It set telegraph lines on fire. They've had those.
Solar flare?
Solar flare. Uh-huh. So he said, if we have one again, it's an extinction level event. He goes, 90% of the population will be dead in a year.
Dennis Quaid said this?
Yeah. And so
was he talking to his brother Randy?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Maybe that's it.
When shows of Randy.
Randy was like, that's it. But he said that because everything will shut down. Everything. And to my credit, Apple, by the way, Apple has become the least helpful groups of people. Like my computer, for whatever reason, I was on it last night, got it today, put my code in like I'm supposed to, and it locked. And I don't know what happened. So I call Apple and they're like, "Oh, you locked it." And I'm like, "Wait, can't you see my?"
That's why I'm calling you.
Hey, you got to clear the whole thing. You got to dump everything. You're in the cloud. You got everything cloud. You're fine. Like, when did Apple go from being the most high tech, helpful to like, to your uncle? You do bang it on the side a couple times. Does it work? Nah, you got to clear it.
Got to Fonzie.
So we are so technologically dependent that if that happens, I just...
Speaking of chaos, George Clooney... I'm not going to do an ad. I just find this interesting. Like, George Clooney was like the nicest guy in the world forever, and then he talked shit about Biden, who was a friend, and now he's talking shit about Tarantino, but I guess Tarantino talked about him first.
Wait, what happened? Really?
Yeah, so Tarantino did... So Clooney and Brad Pitt are promoting Wolves. It's actually wolves, not wolves.
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it. 2 assassins get assigned to the same job. It's the premise of the movie. It looks
cute.
He said,
quote, Quentin, I think they were on GQ. Quentin said some shit about me recently, so I'm a little irritated by him. He's saying this on the record. So he said Tarantino did some interview where he was naming movie stars, and when Clooney's name came up, Tarantino said Clooney's not a movie star. So he big mad. His next sentence, all right, dude, fuck off. He said, in an interview. Is he okay?
So now we're back to what level of money? All right, let's go. Okay, little game.
Okay.
What level of money?
Tie it into the Armageddon update, right?
Well, yeah. What level of money do you need to just say fucking and be an asshole to everybody and think you need? What level of money?
How much money do I need? Oh, dude, I need like $1. I'm fine.
You're
you
right.
told me to fuck off this morning.
No, but I mean, like Musk has like gone from this guy, as I said before, has gone from this guy that seemed to be trying to save the planet, and now he's like he doesn't give a shit about moved everything to Texas. Is it Texas?
There's a dollar sign
Because everybody that moves to Texas gets crazy.
Yeah, that is so true.
Isn't it doesn't
Do
it
you know
feel-
what? Do you remember back then too, something we were so fascinated by was that he shared his patents. He didn't patent so that he could share the technology with other creators because he wanted everyone to work on the technology to make the world better.
When he invented the electric
when he was your number
First of all,
two
let's be
man
clear.
crush.
He did not invent the electric car. Eberhard and another guy had already built it. They'd already built the Lotuses with the batteries. Elon Musk just took over. Then he X'd the guys out. Elon Musk
did he?
Yeah, for Tesla.
Elon Musk did also not invent. There's
He Zuckerberged them.
He's totally Zuckerberged them. And there's a guy. The Winkle bosses of Tesla were fired. And then same with SpaceX. He hired an engineer that got all that off the ground. He didn't do it. He's a facilitator. He's a facilitator.
Also, Tesla's not his real name. That's another guy.
The amount of money, I feel like the more,
what would you need to do? Well, you're kind of don't give a shit anyway. You're already there.
I'll tell people to fuck off for free. But also, I always want, when I say I want more money, it's because I would like more money to help people with.
Like I want to our animal rescue.
I want to do that. I've worked with the Salvation Army a lot. I would give them, because I've seen the wraparound services that they provide for homeless, and I see the difference that makes in people's lives. I mean, I would buy myself some nice shit too, but I don't think it would make me.
You would have to have a plane to get to all your little animal rescue places that you've sent around the country.
I need a plane for a lot of things to shop.
But I'm just saying, at what point do you give up all humanity? Like it seems to me with Elon Musk, and I'm not just going to say this because of he's kind of a dickhead online and talking to Trump. His kid is trans.
He's an asshole.
He's a total dick to his kid. He said his kid was born male, but the kid's she transitioned to a female now. He said,
and hasn't said a word publicly until he attacked.
He dead named her. He said, my son is dead. And which is like, oh yeah, says on an interview. And then I'm like, so he's given up his humanity. Like what's the number that I'm trying my number for me to give up my humanity.
Well, see, this assumes that everybody has a number.
But
Mackenzie Scott did not. And you see that money, Amazon, Jeff Bezos X, you see that money split, and you see two people operate so differently in the world. He builds himself a penis rocket and puts himself into space.
Starts wearing bolero jackets, like when he bought Prince's old wardrobe.
He, moves in the girl he was cheating on his wife with. And
what happened to Bezos?
Mackenzie dated a history teacher. I think they've broken up now, high school history teacher, and has given billions to charity. So many billions, she can't give it away fast enough.
Here's the funny part. She started with 45 billion. She gave away 7. She now has 54. Like that's how much money billions are. You can't get rid. That's how much billions.
Melinda
Get
Gates.
these billions off of me.
Yeah, exactly. I can't get rid of this shit.
You scared him. Melinda Gates. Bill Gates, even, the difference that they've tried to make. And they were kind of gangster because they're the ones that came out. That first time I ever heard somebody publicly say this and go, we're not creating a legacy. We're not giving this to our kids. This all goes to charity. We've equipped our children.
The kids get $500,000
for their school. They are now ready to go in the world and be great people, but they're not inheriting these billions.
I'm going to put Mark Cuban in that too.
Mark Cuban's a good dude. Yeah, he's a good guy. Someone said that today. I was looking at Threads. I was on Threads, and the guy said that not all billionaires are assholes. Mark Cuban is what you can be.
Did you see Mark Cuban started that online pharmacy
that undercuts all the drugs? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Affordable medication for people. Speaking of being a giant bag of meat with no heart. This
Wow.
episode brought to you by Butcher Box.
Yes, the meat.
That's what I should do is let you guys guess.
There's no heart.
She's trying to get all her ads out, which is great.
He's a rocker. He only eats hearts.
Yeah.
Butcher Box, love this company for multiple reasons. Love it because I don't have to leave my house to
But also,
go
everything
to the
we've got
grocery
is
store.
good. You know, like you can say what you want. A company can be convenient and
Yes,
still do
true that.
crap product. These guys have a great product and they're convenient.
It comes to your house. It's packed in dry ice. It's still frozen.
Like Christmas.
It
every
is
time.
like Christmas. It's the college student in me. Don't you have that when you get yours where it's
Butcher
like
Box where you're going through it like, ooh, whoa.
Oh, I feel like, I definitely feel like I'm unwrapping a present.
it's a present, and you get to pick what you want, or they have pre-curated boxes if you don't want to like dig in. But I highly recommend digging in because they keep adding new stuff, and so Highlander and I have been experimenting with the meat.
Sometimes you like try like random stuff. Like I did that.
No, it's maybe
I'm not trying anything else.
You can hear her see how she knows it's going to sound. And it always happens
Yeah,
in
it's
Butcher
like-
Box.
And then I just, that was
Get your
weird.
meat in the box. What? Like she'll say that.
You can put it in your box. I love this company because it's high quality. The other thing that I love about it is it's 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, pork is raised crate-free, and the seafood is wild caught. Everything is humanely raised, no antibiotics or added hormones, which it makes it taste different. It just tastes different.
We haven't had on all the grilling we did in the summer. We have not
Dear
had.
God, our July 4th grill.
We have not had a bad nothing from in all the years we've had Butcher Box. We have not had a bad piece of meat from it. It's been awesome.
Store-bought meat tastes like algae.
And
More or less.
there's
Yeah,
something
there's
there.
super bloom.
There's-
It
Yeah.
does, oh no, it's a super bloom. It's such a cute word for something
yeah,
so
yeah.
nasty.
It's a super bloom.
We grilled out a bunch of different things and I picked things for the box because of July 4th. And so we tried new things and we actually made filet mignon shish kebabs.
Yep, those
and
are awesome.
on skewers with the veggies.
The
and
chicken
it
was
stupid.
phenomenal.
People are going to
The sausages were great.
People are going to be showing up at our house every July 4th because of that Butcher Box grill out experience. So you right now can choose from ground chicken, ground sirloin, or ground pork. You get that for free in every order for an entire year. And you get $20 off your first order with promo code Titus. Visit butcherbox.com/Titus. That's up to $236 in savings for the year. Again, that's code Titus, or you can just put in butcherbox.com/Titus to redeem your offer now.
I don't know if Jason knows this. We don't take ads we don't use.
We try everything
Yeah, we were talking about
first.
that
Yeah, I
yesterday.
just don't.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Does this mean that you're going to pay me rent in meat boxes now?
Yes, do you mind?
if
But also, again-
As long as I can take it to the bank.
or to China.
Yeah.
Even-
Again, that didn't sound right either.
So you're right. My buddy Rick, who went hard right wing on me.
But let's say what this our beginning theory before you say his quote.
Right.
You, before all this happened, starting a couple years ago,
Right.
or maybe more, it was during Trump. You said, I have found that people that get rich, a lot of people in our lives that got more wealthy went harder right wing.
Yeah.
And became more
Selfish?
racist.
Both.
They would
You both.
start. So it's like people
I like
would
that.
start saying like some racist things, but it was
Yep.
all fear driven, like kind of what Trump did about they, them.
Right.
We're in our neighborhood.
It's
We
always a
had
they.
friends say to us, we like being here because there's walls around the neighborhood. And so I did see a Mexican person on the side of the street the other day, and we were like, what is happening?
Yeah, we saw a murder across the street, and we can still go to work. What do you say?
So now that's maybe what happened with,
You get-
that's
well, so Rick said this, and I found it to be true. Money and fame just plugs an amplifier into the asshole you already are. If you're a great person and you get money and fame, you're going to be better. Tom Hanks, Mark Cuban. If you are an asshole and you get money and fame, you become an asshole. Elon Musk, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You just become. I don't think Trump never didn't have money.
Right.
And everybody handed him everything, including his grades, including like everything. So he's never, the man doesn't even understand. I don't think the man's had a moment of humility in his life.
Is it because
Exactly
also
not.
like money has a tendency to isolate you more?
Yes.
So
Does it? Or
Yeah.
does, or,
Yeah.
or do you get, I think some people get we've seen it in some places that some people get, and we do very well. I think there's people that will come after you for it, and this thing. Well, you have it. You could afford it.
Right.
You can give me this. You can afford it. And I always get irritated like that. I've fucking been working 40 years at this shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you think there's a level that people get to start to get sort of like paranoid? About once they have it.
I think this town, we live in Hollywood, by the way. I think this town is like a perfect example of that. The entertainment business in general. Yeah. It's like, why is that guy my friend? What does he want out of me? Is there something that he wants?
Yes.
Is there
that's because we've all
benefit his career.
But that's because we've all been somewhere at a party or gathering, and a guy talking to you, and he's doing this, or a girl doing that, and you're like, oh, you're not here. Right. You're looking for someone more important to talk to. Like, I don't have that. I just don't have that gear. I'm like, what's up? What are you guys doing? Yeah. Why are you looking up? What the fuck's going on behind me? But I do think there is it is a personality base, because Mackenzie Scott, even like Gates is using his money for good. But I think what I don't understand is $1 billion is so much fucking money. So much. It's unfathomable.
Yes.
People, when you say 158 billion, it just looks like 158. 158 billion dollars is a fucking unfathomable
you can never spend
amount of money.
You can never.
You couldn't. What could you buy?
What more do you need? Like,
there was nothing.
And everyone around him does want something.
Yes.
Because people, we've experienced this where people, even on a lower level, like they are different with you as far as respecting boundaries or your property or asking for things because they think, or taking things like, well, they can afford it. There becomes like that kind of, they can afford it, and it's like, no, we like worked really freaking hard.
Yeah. I didn't think you'd notice that missing. What?
Right. And that's a low level. Imagine that level of money and power and fame.
You'll never miss it. Yeah. I guess maybe that would make you bitter. There's a point if that's constant. But I also think if you have real friends, if you're a normal person like Clooney, so George Clooney, a good example. And Clooney, I think, is now at a level of money and fame where he's like, fuck Quentin Tarantino. Like that. Okay, we know what Clooney's number is now. Right. Fuck Quentin Tarantino. That's what he said. So Clooney got called. He's got a bunch of friends. They used to play years ago when we used to go walk Fryman Canyon. Clooney had a house up over there in off of Coldwater, and it was a giant house, and he had a basketball court, and he had a Sunday basketball game. And this is what I heard from people, and he'd invite people, and they'd play basketball. So he has these 12 guys that he hangs out with, like, because Clooney sees himself as Jesus. That's definitely a Christ. That's definitely a Christ problem. You got 12 friends, dude. We have a talk, because you're not letting anybody else in, you're not letting any of us go. You got 12 guys that follow you. It's weird. So he sat them down. This happened a couple years ago, I guess, and it was in the news. And he gave every single one of his buddies a check for $1 million, and he paid the taxes on it. He said, "This is actually $1 million for you. You don't have to pay." He sat them all down at a dinner, and one of his buddies, like, "I don't fucking want your money, man. You're my friend." And he was like, "You're fucking taking the money. You're my friend. I want you." And they got in a big argument about it, and the guy ended up taking it. But he gave all his friends $1 million and paid the taxes on it, which is another. So if it was 12 guys, it's another $6 million in taxes at that level, right? It's like 50%. Sure. So that's who George Clooney. Yeah, we need better friends.
We need to hone up on our basketball.
Yeah. No, you have to be just good enough. Okay. Yeah, I want to be just good under George Clooney. I just want to. You dunked on me again, George. Damn, dude, you're amazing. So there are people. I guess money just has to do with who you are. Money will reveal the asshole you are, and I think in Musk's case, and you can see who it was at the beginning of Tesla, and you can see who he is now. And someone said yesterday something interesting. They said that Musk's people don't forget this. When Trump got elected the first time, Musk was on in his cabinet. He was on an economic board with him, and he quit.
They made an advisory council,
and he quit
the business.
He walked. He had 2 meetings with Trump. He's like, "Fuck this guy." Well, now he's back, and he said, I don't know if he is or not. Is he giving $45 million a month?
He said he wasn't.
But
wasn't. Then right after that,
then he formed a PAC.
Yeah, and then did this stupid interview.
So
where Trump was literally talking like this at times.
I want to hear some of it. Really?
Oh yeah.
He's deep into dementia at this point. He's losing his shit.
I think so too.
So money does, depending on the asshole you are, money will reveal who you are. Mackenzie Scott, it revealed this really good person. It revealed somebody that really gives a shit about humanity. Because she's sending 35 million to the Salvation Army. She gave to
George Clooney's friends too.
What the hell?
I mean, what the fuck, man? Jesus Christ.
What's this extra? I don't know. Mackenzie Scott was here. So I am over Elon Musk. I have sold my Tesla. The solar's already on the house. I'm not going to take off the solar, but
Tony Horton emailed both of us and wanted to know
Tony
when we were setting fire to our cars. He wanted to come over.
Tony was pissed. P90X guy Tony Horton pissed off.
Wait, both of your cars? You sold both your cars?
No. She's not selling her car.
Okay.
I also like Chick-fil-A nuggets, okay? I don't vote with my wallet.
And she likes gay people too. I vote with my wallet.
You know, that whole closing on Sunday thing?
Yeah.
So I had this weird theory. I was at the Dallas airport
and
on
now
a Sunday.
Rocker, who worships the Dark Lord, is going to speak.
He's going to talk about chicken nuggets. Yes, I'm very conflicted about Chick-fil-A because of the owner.
So are we.
Yeah, I'm like, but
it's the best chicken you'll
clearly
ever
I didn't eat there because I was there on a Sunday.
Right.
But I thought to myself, Dallas is an international airport.
Yep.
Right? So to people that are coming in, coming out, it might not be Sunday for them. It might be Monday for them, or it might be Saturday for them.
And don't come
depending
out.
on where in the world they're coming from.
Right.
So if you have a Chick-fil-A at an airport, leave it open on Sundays.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's
I
a
like
very
that
good
you've
point.
taken a stand in this podcast. By God, he doesn't give a shit about Trump, but he will protest Chick-fil-A.
And if
Not for gay people.
But what about the Chick-fil-A in
Yes,
Australia? There's a Chick-fil-A in Australia, and it's Sunday here, but it's
it's a
not
different
Sunday
day.
there.
But it's not in an airport. I'm talking
I
about
see what you
specifically
mean.
ones in
point.
airports.
Literally,
but
someone
I'm
has already
expanding.
lived their Saturday. It
Right.
has become Sunday, and
So now are they violating
It's
Chick-fil-A
God's
lived their
law?
Sunday and it's become Monday.
And isn't that the don't eat on the
just
set?
seems
Isn't
weird.
that don't eat on the Sunday? Isn't that like a weird
No,
That's
it's,
up to you.
it's not
right?
don't eat. It's
that's
the
up
working.
to you. You're right. Yeah.
It's
whatever your
working
Sundays.
on the Sabbath.
If you want to violate the law and burn in hell, go to Chick-fil-A on Sunday if they stayed open. But that's not Chick-fil-A's fault. They still make awesome chicken.
Why are you playing footsie with me under the table?
Is it me?
That's
is
not
it
me.
you? How are your feet all the way over there? You got long legs.
Yeah.
Speaking of really great food that doesn't have any sort of complications surrounding it, this episode brought to you by Magic Spoon.
Okay, I have to talk. I have to talk about this.
Okay, what is it?
It is a grain-free a cereal that basically have taken, instead of trying to make some like let's make the look like a granola thing or whatever. It's grain-free. They went back to your childhood and made, like, there is a peanut butter. There's a peanut butter cereal. There's a chocolate cereal. There is a fruity cereal.
Yeah.
There is what's the other? There's one more. And
A crispy cereal?
dude,
A cereal made out of eyes?
It is so
Wow.
good.
That
It is so.
you would eat.
It is so good. It is so.
13 grams of protein, 0
Yes.
grams of sugar,
Yes.
4 grams of net carbs.
Yes.
So you can actually eat cereal
And-
again like
and
you did when you were a kid.
That's what it's like. It's like you get up and you're like you pull up all these chocolate oats and you put it in, and it's the protein and low carbs, and you're like, and it's okay. Remember when you were a teenager and
Sure.
you would go have cereal in the middle of the night?
Sure.
You can do that again
And
with
it had
no
no
effect.
effect.
It had
And-
no effect except you're right, because your metabolism was one of an 18-year-old. Well, now as an older man, you can still have that with Magic Spoon.
With a terrible
it's amazing.
metabolism.
It's so good.
I want,
it's so
just
good.
because you're butchering the names of it, there's cocoa cereal, there's fruity cereal, there's peanut butter cereal,
Amazing peanut butter.
cinnamon roll
Cinnamon
cereal, chocolate chip cookie cereal, blueberry muffin cereal,
What?
frosted cereal,
And-
birthday cake, maple waffle,
and here's the
honey
great-
nut.
Listen, we all know when you were a kid. Remember when you have a kid and you get whatever peanut butter crunch, whatever you get in the morning, right? And it was
It's
so
so good.
sweet. It was so over the top. Magic Spoon is the best cereal. I stopped eating cereal because it was high in carbs. Magic Spoon is not that. It's everything, and the level of sweetness is not it's not its sugary cereal.
Yeah.
It's just enough to where you go, I feel like I'm a child again.
Yes.
It's awesome.
It's great.
It's awesome.
And you get all that protein. It's great for us because all three of us are watching our carbs right now because of Lumen.
Yeah.
And so if you're carb conscious or you're doing a low carb lifestyle, you should still check out the cereal. I like to mix the peanut butter with the cocoa cereal and eat them together. And then I don't want to overload everybody, but they also have treats, various flavors of treats that you can throw in your bag and go. They have strawberry milkshake, birthday cake. You got to go to the website.
And let's say you have kids, and because when I was a kid, my dad was not okay with it. You're gonna get the brick of shredded wheat. That's what you're gonna eat.
Hit it with a hammer and eat it.
That was me too.
You'll crush that up, and so we would never get, even Raisin Bran was like a big deal, but a frosted cereal, not
That's
in
a
the
treat. Yeah.
You can feed your kids this. It is so good and just so much better than
We
those
love
other
it.
cereals. Yep.
Get $5 off your next order of delicious cereal at magicspoon.com/Titus, or look for Magic Spoon in your nearest grocery aisle, because I've seen it in grocery stores now too. That's magicspoon.com/Titus for $5 off. Magic Spoon. Hold on to the dream.
Yeah. Well, what a great ad.
I love that.
So who's another billionaire that we like? Warren Buffett. Dude's
I
still
just
hanging
wanted,
out.
speaking of billionaires or fake billionaires or not or whatever.
Trump's a fake billionaire.
Trump has just announced that he will hold another news conference tomorrow afternoon.
At Mar-a-Lago.
yeah.
His new
wobbly
thing
podium.
is he's calling Kamala's, except he didn't say it correctly because he likes to racist dog whistle everybody. Her rise is unconstitutional and a coup. People are realizing now that this is his pretext to question the outcome of the election again.
Right.
So
if
what-
he
Setting it up.
loses again.
So I have two theories about this. I think he's already setting that up. If Biden was running, no matter who runs against him, he's going to say that it was rigged. Is
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
We agree that. I think, and Scaramucci got on and said this in an interview. He says, "I know the guy." He goes, "He's setting up to pull out." What he's saying is, he goes, "I am not going to go up against this person they threw up at the last minute. I was supposed to go up against Joe Biden. If you guys are going to cheat, I'm not going to run." And then he's going to try to foment some violence, is what I think.
At his last press conference, one of my favorite moments was when he sidetracked and said about Willie Brown, who Kamala had a relationship with for like a year and a half. Willie Brown was separated. Willie Brown was the mayor of San Francisco.
She had a relationship.
She was just in it,
Yeah.
which they point to with no self-awareness whatsoever, who their candidate is.
Right.
So he says that he had an emergency landing in a helicopter with Willie Brown.
Almost
and
went
his
down.
whole point in bringing it up, I think, was to connect him to Kamala, but he forgot to really do that. He didn't like her.
He didn't say very nice things about her.
He did not like her
In
at
the
all.
helicopter when it's going down.
Yes.
By the way, we're about to
By the way,
die.
yeah.
Let me tell you about Kamala real quick.
Before
Over
I
the
go,
comms.
I got a couple of things I want to say about the girl I
But
was
he's
dating.
so tweaked. He even then said, I don't know if he would say that now, but he did then. So now Willie Brown has come out, and it's the most beautiful clip. You guys have to go see it. Have you watched
laughing
it?
the whole time.
Oh
It's
my
awesome.
God. They ask him, were you ever in a helicopter with Donald Trump? And he says, no. And then he starts laughing
He's very creative.
at the end.
Yeah.
But then he laughs and gets his breath and laughs again and gets his breath. It is the funniest clip.
Because
should put
you can
that
see
in.
how he keeps thinking of. You ever get something when you're in
Yes.
church, you can't stop laughing. He starts thinking about how crazy it is that this man is using him as to go after Kamala when he dated her years ago, and he's never been in a helicopter with the guy. And I think it just started to build. It's like for me, there's video of me doing it when he said, "Person, woman, man, camera, TV. If you say it again, you get extra points." And I remember I extra points for on a cognitive test, and I couldn't stop laughing. It kept feeding off itself. So supposedly, and here's what the media is doing. And by the way, Lawrence O'Donnell, who sometimes isn't my favorite guy, he went off on the media and the bullshit they're doing for Trump and that they're not doing for the Democrats. Like, so do you ever notice when the Democrats do something wrong in the media, even the left-wing media jumps them? They're like, Biden's losing it. He's out of control. We got to get him out. We need to get. And then Trump says the craziest shit we've ever heard. And they go, well, 2 years prior to that, he was in a helicopter with another guy who also happened to be black. So he just confused that black guy who's taller than Willie Brown. Yeah. And we're like, wait, the guy has been bullshitting us for 8-9 years, his whole life, but on the world stage for 8-9 years. Why are you trying to figure out what he meant and make it okay?
Right. You pointed that out, and I thought that was actually brilliant. We're so used to it that the media is doing his job for him and soft pedaling it now, where it's like, oh, he just was confused in the moment at Jerry Brown. Then they changed it to another black politician.
And it wasn't that guy either. And then they found the third guy. He actually was in a helicopter, but they never had a problem. Yeah, but why are you giving him excuses?
Because the fact is, he told a whole story
that wasn't true
about Kamala and related it to Willie Brown. So there's a fucking problem in his brain if he didn't confuse names. He literally made up an entire story about something and tried to relate it to Kamala.
And when Biden would fumble, when Biden would say something and stutter a little bit. Now, Biden, let's say he born with a stutter, lived with a stutter his whole life, did everything to overcome it. He would be stating actual facts, stats and facts, but he would stutter over it, and they'd play that over and over again.
Right.
Trump makes shit up and says words that don't exist.
And then they excuse it.
Yeah.
They just did it with Biden like a couple of days ago. Where he just kind of mistakenly said, if Trump wins, I'm sorry, if Trump loses, then there will be riots or whatever. And they keep going, see, he's losing his marbles.
And yet
over and over.
Everything he's saying stuff, there's going to be violence if I don't win. I'm your retribution. And they just let it go. Is it because they need a horse race?
It's why Lawrence O'Donnell the other night he went off. It was brilliant. Clip.
I watched that.
Wasn't that great? It's like finally somebody's calling the media on their BS.
He's saying it's 2016 all over again.
Yes.
They're facilitating him winning.
He used his Showtime to air her rally, which nobody aired, including MSNBC, but they aired Trump's whole press conference.
His whole crazy press conference.
And it's because that's exciting. Yeah, Kamala's competent, intelligent. She gives great speeches. She's going to say nice, positive, uplifting things. That's not exciting. But that press conference was exciting, right? Like, even for me, it's like reality
car
crashes.
Play better than traffic flowing easily.
And also, we've brought up that all the mainstream media outlets, even MSNBC, they're all owned by right wingers.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, they're all the
so
people.
I'm sure the preference is pushing for.
Well, CNN was the weirdest one. You can see it if you go back before. So CNN was owned by Discovery. The people on the Discovery Channel, they were owned by this giant media company, and they sold off CNN. CNN to
Viacom?
Viacom, right. But they sold off CNN to this hardcore right-wing rich dude. And the second that happened, Don Lemon got fired. Anybody who was really lefty got fired. And then literally the next week, their entire spin on stuff. Jim Acosta used to go after Trump. In fact, Trump kicked him out, and he stopped doing it. And they changed. And at one point, you go, "Wait, you're fucking journalists. Aren't you supposed to say the truth, not just adjust it?" But I guess if you're getting 1.2 million a year, 2 million a year to go on that news, and the boss goes, "Hey man, I think you need to back off this truth fact thing." There's a law. No, there isn't. Reagan got that law with Roger Ailes. They killed that law, the fairness document. They killed it years ago. Just say what we want you to say, and you can keep your job. Makes sense to me, and I don't think Don Lemon would. We've lost the media. Our media fucking even Rachel Maddow went after Biden so hard, and the only people that didn't, and I'm going to keep saying, Lawrence O'Donnell, Joy Reid, and Katie Fang, the three people that were like, "This is bullshit. This man can do it. He's old." Yes. Those are the three journalists that currently I trust. Nobody else.
Also, the mainstream media, they also have to compete with us, like the rise of all of our own media.
Yeah.
Right. So we can do what we want for now.
That's what I often say about being a musician. Like I'm not competing for your attention with another musician. I'm competing for your attention with this cat video.
Absolutely.
Or with this music.
Right,
or
exactly.
whatever.
Yeah.
Comedy. Dude. At least you don't have to deal with this. They're not doing this in rock clubs or rock arenas. We go to comedy clubs and it'll be a guy who dressed in a panda suit and got 14 million, has 14 million followers
on TikTok.
They'll book him at the club, he will get up in a panda suit and dance for 15 minutes and then sign autographs for 2 hours. But the mothers and the daughters paid the ticket price to pack that club out. There's some comics that are they're not comics. They just did some sketches and they blew up, and they got, there's a couple comics that have turned it into, like Angela Johnson turned it into something. There's people that have done the work. But these motherfuckers haven't done the work. And to a club owner we talked to, they're like, yeah, we book them, but holy shit.
Yeah. And it's usually one time.
So we're competing with that, and they're taking our nights.
And we're so tired of it. Speaking of being tired, this episode brought to you by Mudwater, new company that we have tried. I brought up being tired because if you are tired of like waking up and having brain fog and feeling groggy, which I definitely have struggled with because I had started having too much caffeine
and
that's becoming very reliant
so
on
you
that.
go from that to the jittery part, which I'm not and I think sometimes
you're very sensitive
because I like coffee. And so I'm drinking it, and she'll go, I'll be like, I got anxiety. I'm feeling like really like nothing's gonna work. And she goes, how many cups of coffee you had? And I go, 3.
A pot.
She goes, stop. Well, she's also got
hydrate.
Like we have in our house. We had like the highest level. Like we have a machine in our house. So this Mudwater stuff came up, and it is, what's it made out of exactly?
So
because I just like it.
It gives you the morning boost that you need, but it's also packed with adaptogens, the two of your favorite things.
Yes.
Antioxidants and a bunch of other fancy health words that I'm not going to bore you with that taste really good, but you don't have like the afternoon crash, which I for sure have when I have that very strong coffee in the morning.
Right.
Then around 3 o'clock, I am tanked and I need another coffee. Every ingredient in Mudwater is, all of them are 100% USDA certified organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, vegan, and kosher, 0 sugar, no sweeteners added to it. You can go on their website and check it out first, but they have different ones that you can try: original, matcha, turmeric, and rest, which is one you would have before sleep. The original is the one that we have. It's chocolate.
Because I like a cup of coffee at night if it's not going to keep me up, and this stuff fills that.
It would give you that, like the tea, and you do get a little bit of caffeine in it. Rich chocolate melts into exotic masala chai and tastes like a mug of hot cocoa had a baby with a chai latte, and this is what you would get. I'm
so in.
We also got the other thing I love. You can get the creamer from them as well, and ours came in a big bag. It's powdered, but it's coconut milk with MCT oil, and it's very fluffy. And you can also get sweetener from them. They use lucuma, and it gives you it's like a butterscotch caramel kind of vibe.
I like the commitment to a company that's like, you know what,
dude,
coffee's been around. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. We're going to do something. We're going to do all this research.
That's better for people.
That's a move. That's a bold move.
You can also get ours. We also got the what do you call it? The whipper, the frother thing. So also each ingredient that is in Mudwater has a purpose. So you're looking at each thing has a specific purpose designed for your body and gives you a natural source of energy. The OG blend has cacao and chai, so you get a little bit of caffeine and hot chocolate like flavor. Lion's mane for focus, cordyceps to promote natural energy, and chaga and reishi to support a healthy immune system. So they've really added a bunch. Well, this is it's new and exciting without that crash.
It's like AG1 for coffee. It's like there's so much in this.
And you can get caffeine-free blends available if you don't want any caffeine. For a limited time, our listeners can get up to 43% off of your entire order, free shipping, and you'll get that free rechargeable frother I was talking about. That's very cool. When you use our link, go to mudwater.com/Titus and grab you can get the whole starter kit. That's up to 43% off at mudwtr.com/Titus. After you buy it, they're going to ask you how you heard about it, and please let them know that we sent you. You can put it in there. Stay energized and refreshed all summer long with Mudwater, because life's too short for anything less than natural, delicious energy.
What's your favorite song on the new album?
Well,
now which one you done a video for? Because I want to put a piece of it right here.
I've done 3 videos already. So
wow.
We're going to be
when you
rolling
pick
them out.
Now my question is this.
Yeah.
You've done this so long. Do you go, that's the best song, we're putting that one out first? Or do you go, that one's just almost as good as that one. Let's put this one out first to get him interested. Then let's drop the bomb.
Well, I let the experts do that shit. You know what I mean?
They have that because in my business, every
he is the expert.
Yeah, and experts that were like at the networks or whatever will be like, you guys don't know what you're talking about, and they, if they were right, every network show would last forever.
I mean, I agree. Luckily, I agree with the experts. I like, just get rid of them until I find the ones that I agree with.
So you like a yes man.
But, it's about, there are so many different ways to promote music these days, right? Spotify playlists, Apple Music playlists.
Podcasts such as ours.
Right, exactly. Also, terrestrial radio still helps move the needle.
Right.
And so you have to pick, does that song fit that radio format? There's different radio formats. There's different radio stations. So that's a factor as well.
Okay, so what's the one that you've done the video for that we're gonna put right here?
It's coming out right now. It's called "Digging in the Dust."
Digging in the Dust, guys. This is a little bit of "Digging in the Dust" from Jason Charles Miller. Digging in the Dust. I was listening on the way over. I love that one.
Thanks.
I love that song.
Thank you. That's the first single.
Yeah.
The video comes out next week.
We're good. Okay. Dude, I gotta tell you, thanks for, I know you really, I wanted to know how very tender you were about going into politics. You didn't really pick us. That was good.
Okay.
I think I'm a centrist, really. Like everybody goes, here's the problem I have right now. Everybody goes, you liberal, libtard. I'm like, fuck, I just read the facts. Like if you go back to all the way to Eisenhower, Democrats have always made me more money. They've always made there's been lower unemployment. There's been more investment. There's been more infrastructure. Our taxes went to shit for us. It didn't go to rich people. So I'm not a libtard. I'm just a fucking pragmatist. How do I make more money?
A liberal from 30 years ago is now how am I trying to flip this?
Woke.
Is it centrist now?
Is it centrist now?
Yeah. Well, they slowly
the whole thing shifted.
But I don't give a shit. I don't liberal Democrat. I don't give a where. I look at my taxes. I make more money every time a Democrat is president. Every fucking time. You know what else happens? My streets get better. You know what else happens? My tax money goes to healthcare, to ACA, whatever. And every government bureaucracy is going to fuck that up. But at least they're trying to use my tax money not for Raytheon and Lockheed. Mm-hmm. They're using it for me. They're building it's an infrastructure plan. Like what? Like how come I can't just go? No, that's better for me.
Yeah.
Why do people you live time woke? I'm tired. Immigrants are bad. Do you want to eat? Because we need immigrants, you bitches.
Well, the WHO has just declared Mpox a global health emergency.
What's Mpox? Oh my God! No, what the fuck?
Mpox is apparently what used to be called monkeypox, but they've changed it to Mpox.
Right.
So they had a marketing meeting.
They had a marketing meeting.
Was that
they were like, monkeypox sounds too negative.
Against monkeys.
It's not like, guys, the monkeys didn't do it, but it's not the monkeys' fault. And why would you be so anti-monkey? I see you anti-monkey. You don't like monkeys?
Disparaging the monkeys?
You're disparaging.
I just had to sit here and get all the way to the end of the article because I was like, what is Mpox? Is it monkey? And then it said formerly known as. The artist formerly known as
monkeypox. You're very funny. I love how funny you are. The artist formerly known as monkeypox.
Well, so there's another thing on our horizon. I remember when COVID first came out and you calling, and I just remember the abject stress.
Oh, I was stressed.
You were so...
Yeah.
Look,
and
man,
actually, you calmed me down by yelling at me.
What I did,
was great. You're like, what? They're not going to stop us from going to the studio. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's right. Because that's right.
Because I was like, they're like, it's everyone was just like, it's locked down. Everyone's locked in. You can't leave your homes. Yeah. And I'm like, what are we going to do?
You thought all the tenants were just going to be like, sorry, can't come, so I'm not going to pay you. Like that was.
Thank God for the studio. Without the studio, we were fucked. We did 4 or 5 shows. We filmed an Everlast. We filmed an Everlast concert. We did how many comedy shows
Fortune
did we do?
Beamster.
We did a Ron
Punches.
We did like
several of our own.
I was like, this was our safe space, man. We were shooting Enviro Shield in here. Dude, I
forgot about that. Yeah.
And by the way, at one point, you I'm not gonna go hang out in a venue, but we're the three of us are gonna come up with some shit. We did crazy shit we were good during COVID.
We were good.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
We were 2 episodes. By the way, guys, just so you know, there's 2 more episodes of Titus if you haven't seen them that we shot during COVID with the entire cast, including Stacy Keach. It's called The Homecoming, Part 1 and Part 2. Go to Christopher Titus TV and get that. Also, if you want to see us on the road, we're going to be on the road.
I had a cameo in that, remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was an orderly.
Yeah.
Disorderly, you might say.
He was also in the Arm the Children video.
He fixed it.
I don't know why that's not on your resume on the website.
Yeah,
I should put that on there.
That was fun too, man. Someone said at the end of the Arm the Children, guys, if you see the Arm the Children video, I am pretty much pro get some rules so we don't fucking have school shootings anymore. So I wrote this thing called Arm the Children based on a bit I did, and Jason took my shitty song and was like, let me fix this. and you did. And thank God.
It was actually really cool sounding.
And then he put me through a vocal thing, but didn't make it sound like a vocal thing. So you fixed every aspect of it.
And he's in the video. So we are going to be August 24th, City Winery, Pittsburgh. August 25th, Buffalo, Helium. 29th, Levity Live, Huntsville. 30th, City Winery, Nashville. Go to the website to check out other upcoming dates. Jason Charles Miller is 23rd of August, Buffalo at Electric City. 24th, Wally's Pub, Hampton, New Hampshire. 2 nights, actually, 24, 25. 27th, XL Live in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Go to his website, jasoncharlesmiller.com, because there are a ton of dates. He's going to be in Maine and Indiana and Tennessee, and we're going to be in Tennessee right before you. We're going to do a lot of...
It's out today. Get Knives in the Dark, man. It is really good. Really good. Really good. I was really, because you gave it to me, I'm like, well, let me be able to talk about it. And you want to figure out what it was good. And not that you weren't going to be good, but someone puts their shit out, like my comedy. Like I'm doing a bit in my new show where I do a slave song because I talk about because Race's whole plan is, all right, we're not going to teach history or tell anybody what happened. That's their whole plan. Right. So I did this thing about, even if they couldn't read or write, the slaves came up with songs to keep the history going. And then I sing this brutal slave song on stage.
Yes, he does.
Okay.
As he does.
But still,
you're going to need to fix that one too.
Jason in no way endorses anything that he does on stage.
It gives a good laugh.
It does.
But that's
Jason is going to be in Los Angeles on December 14th at Bar Sinister. But I kind of love this. Underneath that, there is a dress code at this venue. Okay, you might think, what?
Tuxedos.
Or whatever. It is gothic gautier chic, alternative upscale black, fab fetish, or futuristic attire. No blue jeans, no khakis or flannel. No sports, street, or beach
what if
attire.
That's your fetish, though?
Beach attire. Have people shown up to your shows in beach attire?
Only at the beach.
And,
exactly.
And no
Panama
white
City.
Sneakers or flip-flops. By God.
Wow, how weird is that?
I wish we could do this at our shows.
That club's awesome. Bar Sinister.
It's great,
they said it. That's
their. This isn't my dress code. This is
the
club's dress code.
That's their vibe, though. They're like, no.
I love it.
Yeah.
No,
I've never been there before.
Oh, you guys
now
gotta go.
I want to go.
We should go. Yeah, I want to go too.
If you don't have a show
but
that
you're
night.
gonna have to be gothic gautier chic. Is what I'm giving you. Okay.
All right. I will go totally. If I'll do one, I'll go Clockwork Orange. I'm gonna go Clockwork. I'll go Clockwork Orange. I'll go Clockwork Orange.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that. December 14th.
I
would.
Yeah.
We'll go to that.
All right. Yeah. We'll go. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And thank you for being on the show, man. I appreciate it, man. And thanks for keeping my rent low. And not raising it. It's because it's not low. But it's not raised. Come see us on the road, guys. The new show. We're calling it the Joke Mining Tour right now, but I'm starting to lean towards a name. I got something in the thing. And before we go, you ready?
Yeah.
It's time for Highlanders Fun Facts. Highlanders Fun Facts. It's Highlanders Fun Facts.
Yeah.
How
would you do that?
He didn't even know what we're doing. He's looking at me like,
he's up in there.
His ear on my side is bleeding. He's like, I can't. Why is Titus singing?
I was hearing like microtones.
Do you have a pitch on that?
Semitones?
I don't even know what to do with that.
Yeah, no.
Exploding teeth.
Okay.
That's a fact.
What?
From the mid 1800s to the late 1920s, people's teeth used to explode.
From what?
Why did they stop?
Yeah,
Well,
I would rather know
What were
where
they doing?
started.
They were doing something in the
do it
dentist
again.
chair.
I don't want to do
They
it
were
again.
doing something in the dentist chair.
They think that the metals that they were using for dental surgery back then started creating like gases inside their teeth.
Oh,
and then
like
it would,
metal fillings?
Yeah,
And
then
the
it would-
tooth would just...
would explode.
Would people die from that?
I don't know. Just
He
just blow out a
doesn't,
hole
he
or
doesn't
something.
research these. He
Okay.
reads them on the fly.
That's the
You
extent
can't
of
really
the
ask him
research.
questions.
As we were singing it, he was
Yes.
looking at what he's
There's a
going to talk
reason-
about.
There's a reason why you can't use Wikipedia as a source.
Exactly, because we wrote some of it.
Guys,
I
thanks
made
for
that up.
watching. And I go to Christopher Titus TV for stuff. We're putting up stuff all the time. And by the way, for the Armageddon update 2 weeks ago, it like kind of blew up. It's pretty cool.
It did. That one was which one? Kamala,
it
right?
was Kamala versus Trump, man. And
Yeah.
and guys, just so you know, she's not using AI. Everybody who was at it's so stupid.
Yeah.
We'll
We
talk
have
about it
live
next week.
video of her crowds, but okay. Anything that makes him look bad is fake. Fake news.
His whole life, though.
Yes.
All right, guys, don't buy the bullshit anymore. Scream sanity. For myself, the Lively Bomb Show, Ray, the Highlander, and our guest, Jason Charles Miller. Later.
Peace out.
There could be anyone.
Yep.